The greatest trick the wise ever used was convincing others that they were winning. Think about it. Life is not always what it seems. The victories we witness often conceal complex strategies beneath the surface. Sometimes those who appear to be winning are merely pawns in a larger game orchestrated by strategic minds who understand the art of patience, observation, and perfect timing. Stay until the end of this video, and you'll learn how to master these principles to outsmart anyone trying to manipulate or undermine you. The first step to regaining control is understanding your opponent's greatest weakness, their ego. Narcissistic individuals thrive on dominance and recognition. But here's the key: they are blinded by their own arrogance. Their ego becomes their Achilles heel, making them vulnerable to subtle, calculated moves. You don't confront them head-on. Instead, you disarm them by letting their arrogance expose their weaknesses. A narcissist will always overplay their hand when they believe they are untouchable. Let them think they've won while you secretly turn the game in your favor. Self-control is your most powerful weapon in such situations. Manipulators thrive in chaos. They want to provoke you and see you lose your composure. They feed on emotional reactions, hoping your impulsiveness will give them the upper hand. But when you stay calm, you deny them the satisfaction of shaking your ground. This self-mastery not only keeps you in control but forces them to operate in a realm where they are less effective. It creates a power shift, leaving them guessing what you're thinking and what your next move will be. When you master the art of self-control, you turn silence and restraint into powerful tools. Contrary to popular belief, they are not signs of passivity or weakness. They are marks of a master strategist, someone who knows when to observe and when to act. By resisting the urge for an immediate reaction, you gain valuable time to assess the situation and analyze their tactics. This calculated approach frustrates manipulators and makes it harder for them to predict your actions or maintain control over the situation. Moreover, your calm demeanor forces manipulators to overplay their hand. Their need for dominance often drives them to reveal their true motives when they feel their strategies aren't working. This moment of exposure is your opportunity to turn the tide. By keeping your composure, you not only protect your position but gain deeper insight into their intentions, enabling you to respond with precision and effectiveness. Now let's talk about arrogance. The downfall of so many would-be manipulators. Arrogance is a double-edged sword and often becomes the Achilles heel of manipulators. Their overconfidence blinds them to the risks of their actions and the flaws in their plans. They act under the assumption that they are always one step ahead, ignoring how their hubris leads them straight into precarious situations. This pride creates opportunities you can exploit, as their unchecked arrogance makes them predictable. Arrogance often drives manipulators to take risky actions because they believe they're invincible. They underestimate their opponents and overestimate their own abilities, which makes them vulnerable. If you stay grounded and composed, you can turn their impatience against them. While they rush to secure short-term victories, they make mistakes and miscalculations. This imbalance between your patience and their recklessness becomes your decisive advantage. Patience allows you to see through their bluffs and recognize their weaknesses. Their arrogance blinds them to the traps they set for themselves, giving you a strategic edge. By remaining calm and observant, you can exploit their missteps. Instead of reacting hastily, you position yourself carefully to turn their arrogance into their downfall, ensuring their supposed superiority is nothing more than an illusion. Silence is a weapon few understand but many fear. It is often mistaken for submission or disinterest, but in reality, silence is a calculated move. When you choose silence, you take control of the conversation and create a power vacuum that others feel compelled to fill. This absence of a response unsettles manipulators who rely on constant interaction to dominate and dictate outcomes. Silence shifts the dynamic and throws the manipulator onto uncertain ground. In moments of silence, you gain the upper hand by turning yourself into a mystery. Manipulators thrive on predictability, but your silence disrupts their ability to read and anticipate your reactions. As they struggle with the uncertainty you create, they often reveal more than they intend. They fill the silence with their own insecurities, habits, and hidden intentions, giving you valuable insight into their true nature. Silence is also a shield that protects you from impulsive decisions and emotional outbursts. While manipulators try to provoke you, your silence forces them to confront themselves. It creates a mirror that reflects their behavior back at them without you saying a single word. This psychological tactic disarms them, exposes them, and leaves them vulnerable. With silence as your ally, you can outsmart their strategies without lifting a finger. Here's a truth that goes against intuition. Retreat does not mean defeat. The idea of retreat is often perceived as surrender, but in the realm of strategy, it can be a masterstroke. Tactical retreats are not about giving up, they are about conserving energy and repositioning yourself for a stronger comeback. When you withdraw, you allow your opponent to burn through their resources and energy on temporary victories, weakening them for the truly decisive moments. By retreating, you gain the perspective needed to recalibrate your approach. Retreat offers the opportunity to observe the manipulator's behavior, recognize patterns, and refine your strategy. It is a chance to regroup, rethink, and prepare for a decisive strike when the timing aligns perfectly with your goals. This deliberate pause is not a sign of defeat, but proof of your ability to prioritize long-term success over fleeting gains. Experienced strategists understand the value of calculated sacrifices. Like a chess player who sacrifices a pawn to secure checkmate, your retreat can lay the groundwork for ultimate victory. Let the manipulator bask in their false sense of triumph while you quietly prepare your next move. When the time comes, your return will be all the more powerful, catching them off guard and solidifying your position as the true victor. Manipulators thrive on controlling the narrative. But what happens when you subtly guide their perception instead? This is the essence of psychological warfare, a battle not fought with brute force, but with finesse and intelligence. By understanding their insecurities, you can guide their actions without them even realizing it. Manipulators often overestimate their ability to steer situations, which makes them susceptible to being guided themselves. Controlling perceptions requires sensitivity and a deep understanding of human psychology. There's no need to confront manipulators directly. Instead, you plant seeds of doubt or confidence that influence their decisions. This method is about redirecting their focus and letting them believe they're in control. As they follow the path you've carefully designed, they unknowingly play into your hands, giving you the advantage without confrontation. The beauty of this tactic lies in its subtlety. While the manipulator believes they're pulling the strings, you're the one conducting the symphony. This approach minimizes conflict while maximizing results. Psychological warfare isn't about overpowering someone, it's about letting them believe the choices they make are their own, while you guide them toward outcomes that benefit you. When you master this art, you turn their manipulative tendencies against them and ensure they unknowingly work in your favor. A powerful tactic is to mirror their own actions. Manipulators often operate in predictable patterns. They lie, deceive, and manipulate. By mirroring their behavior, without sinking to their level, you cause their tactics to collapse under their own weight. Lies unravel. Manipulations fail. You don't need to fight directly because their downfall comes from within. Patience is often underestimated, yet it is the ultimate weapon. While manipulators act in haste, you wait. You observe. You prepare. They exhaust themselves chasing fleeting victories while you wait for the perfect moment. When their energy is depleted, your strike will be calculated and decisive, leaving no room for retaliation. Why do they play these games? For power. For dominance. But here lies the difference: while they chase short-term wins, you play for a higher purpose. Purpose-driven actions transcend ego-driven games. When your goals are clear and rooted in meaning, you become untouchable. Their games seem petty and insignificant in the face of your focused vision. One of the most effective moves you can make is to break their expectations. Manipulators expect predictable reactions. They rely on anger, fear, or submission. But when you respond with calm resilience, you throw them off balance. They stumble, unsure how to regain control. This unpredictability is your core strength. When you operate outside their limited understanding, you render their tactics ineffective. Validation is one of their most common tools for control. They use praise and criticism to influence your actions. But here's the truth: when validation no longer matters to you, manipulation loses its power. Recognize their attempts for what they are: empty efforts to steer you. When you detach from the need for approval, you shift the power entirely to yourself. Genius often hides in simplicity. Sometimes, the most effective strategies look like mistakes. Let them underestimate you. Let them think they're winning. Mistakes, when intentional, become distractions. By the time they recognize the depth of your strategy, it's too late. They're already entangled in a web of their own making, with no escape. In summary, the brilliance of these strategies lies in their simplicity and effectiveness. Strategic patience, silence, and purposeful action are not just tools, they are principles that can transform your life. When you master them, you become immune to manipulation and capable of turning any situation in your favor. If you've read this far, I have a challenge for you. Write 777 in the comments as a sign of your commitment to mastering these strategies. Let's build a community of like-minded individuals who refuse to be manipulated and are ready to take control of their lives. And remember, your rise is inevitable. Make it extraordinary. Subscribe to this channel for more wisdom and strategies, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your journey to mastery begins here.